When you think about pregnancy in the animal kingdom, one image probably pops into your head, right? It just feels like a universal law. The female is the one who carries the young. But today, we're going to look at how nature absolutely loves to shatter its own rules in the most amazing ways.
So let's just get right to it. In the whole animal kingdom, who carries the young? Now the answer seems super obvious, but there's a wild exception out there that flips everything we think we know right on its head.
Okay, so before we get to the main event, our big rule breaker, we gotta understand the rule itself. What does a normal pregnancy even look like? To set the stage, let's take a look at the model we're all familiar with, our fellow mammals.
For mammals, it's pretty much a standard playbook. The female carries the pregnancy inside an organ called the uterus. And this thing is incredible. Its walls are just packed with powerful muscles. When the time is right, hormones like oxytocin kick in and trigger contractions. The whole process, labor, is totally automatic, completely involuntary. The mother has zero conscious control over it.
And the real star of the show here is the type of muscle involved. It's called smooth muscle. A good way to think about it is like the body's autopilot system. It's what moves food through your intestines, and it's what makes a uterus contract during labor, all without you even thinking about it. The word you want to remember here is involuntary.
All right, so that's the blueprint. It works, it's super common, but what if nature just decided to tear up that blueprint? What if it cooked up a system that looks like pregnancy, but works in a completely different way?
It's time to meet the Syngnathidae family. And this is where biology gets wonderfully weird. Because in this family, it's the dad who gives birth.
Yeah, you heard me correctly. The entire family of seahorses, pipefish, and sea dragons are the only animals on Earth with true male pregnancy. We're talking the male carries the eggs, he nurtures the embryos, and he gives birth to live babies. This isn't just, carrying eggs on his back. He is biologically, factually pregnant.
And the way this whole swap happens is just, wow. It all starts with this beautiful courtship dance. Then the female transfers her eggs directly into a special brood pouch on the male's belly. He fertilizes them right then and there, so no paternity tests needed. And for weeks, he incubates those embryos, giving them everything they need: oxygen, nutrients. A lot like a mammalian uterus.
But here's where it gets really mind-bending. The biggest difference isn't just who gives birth, it's how. The actual mechanics of labor, the nuts and bolts of it, are completely different between mammals and seahorses.
And this chart, man, it just lays it all out perfectly. Mammals rely on that involuntary, smooth muscle in the uterus. But seahorses? Nope. They use voluntary skeletal muscles that are wrapped around their brood pouch. One process is automatic, the other is a deliberate, conscious choice. So when scientists actually looked inside a seahorse's brood pouch, they found something fascinating. There's almost no smooth muscle there. It's just not built to create those powerful, automatic contractions like we see in mammals. So how on earth do the babies get out?
The answer? Skeletal muscle. Yep, the exact same kind of muscle you're using to hold your phone right now, or the kind you use to flex your bicep. It is completely under conscious, voluntary control. So get this, a seahorse giving birth looks like a full-on gym session. The male has to actively perform a whole series of coordinated moves. He bends his body, he squeezes and relaxes his pouch, and he makes these powerful, whole-body jerking motions. He is literally, consciously using his muscles to push his kids out into the world.
Okay, but what's the trigger? What's the green light that tells the body it's time? Both systems need some kind of signal. So let's look at how hormones kick off these two completely different styles of labor.
In mammals, it's basically a direct order. The hormone oxytocin gets released, and it sends a signal straight to the smooth muscles of the uterus telling them, contract, now. The whole thing just starts automatically, like flipping a switch.
But in the seahorse, it's a totally different ballgame. The fish equivalent of oxytocin, which is called isotocin, gets released. But instead of making muscles contract directly, it's more like a starting pistol at a race. It signals the male's brain to start doing the labor behaviors, the pressing, the jerking. The hormone triggers the urge to act, but it's the dad's conscious effort that actually gets the job done. I mean, how cool is that? To solve the exact same biological problem, giving a live birth, evolution came up with two totally separate solutions. Mammals got the automated, involuntary system. Seahorses got a manual, behavior-driven one. It is a textbook example of convergent evolution.
This whole story just goes to show you how incredibly inventive and flexible nature can be, which gets us thinking. And we want to ask you, what other amazing animal role reversals have you heard of? Drop your answers in the comments below. If you enjoyed this dive into one of nature's biggest surprises, do us a favor and subscribe to Zero Facts. And hey, hit that like button while you're at it. Thanks for watching.